Hello, dear students. Let us continue with our Gulel series with a new chapter that is chemical coordination and integration, where we discuss about the endocrine system. So, as we have discussed previously, that control and coordination is brought about by the neural systems and the endocrine system. When there are multiple events that take place, these events need to occur in a sync, in a coordinated manner. And in order to bring about these events in a coordinated manner, you require certain coordinators. जैसे कि अगर एक ऑर्केस्ट्रा चल रहा है तो उस ऑर्केस्ट्रा में बहुत सारे अलग अलग इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स प्ले हो रहे हैं और हमने ये एग्जाम्पल न्यूरल में भी आपको बताया था कि अलग अलग इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स प्ले हो रहे हैं और अगर आप म्यूजिक चाहते हो तो सारे इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स सिंक में तालमेल में प्ले होने चाहिए तो ही म्यूजिक बनेगी वरना सिर्फ आवाज आएगा तो सिमिलरली ह्यूमन बॉडी is made up of different type of tissues and so many different organs, and all these organs need to work in sync in coordinated manner. तो तो कोई तो कंट्रोल एंड कमांडिंग सेंटर्स होने चाहिए जो इस सारे ऑर्गन्स को एक सिंक्रोनाइज मैनर में काम करवाएं. जैसे अगर आप जॉगिंग कर रहे हैं तो आपका स्केलेटल और मस्कुलर सिस्टम काम कर रहा है, बट एट द सेम टाइम दे रिक्वायर सप्लाई ऑफ ऑक्सीजन, ग्लूकोज, sweating, thermoregulation, increase in heartbeat, increase in the rate of respiration. And when you cool down, everything will come back to normal. So ये सारी घटनाएं कौन रखता है कोऑर्डिनेटेड? तो उसमें एंडोक्राइन सिस्टम का नाम आता है एंड न्यूरल सिस्टम. दिस एंडोक्राइन सिस्टम is a diffused system. It is made up of different organs, but these organs are not physically connected to each other. They are functionally connected. They secrete chemical messengers, and these chemical messengers are called as hormones. And according to the old classical definition, these hormones are released in the blood stream. Okay, बट अभी नया जो डेफिनेशन है उसके हिसाब से हम ये नहीं कहते कि हमेशा हॉर्मोन्स ब्लड स्ट्रीम में ही रिलीज होंगे. बट द क्लासिकल व्यू इज दैट these are chemical messengers released in the bloodstream by ductless glands called endocrine glands. Why did we call them as chemical messengers? Because every hormone has a message. For example, adrenaline has a message, increase the heartbeat. Growth hormone has a message, increase the length of the bone. हर एक हार्मोन में एक स्पेसिफिक मैसेज है. Hormones are target specific. A hormone is released by an endocrine cell and it will act upon a target cell which will bring about the effect of that particular hormone. And this is decided by receptors which are present on the target cells. These target cells show the presence of proteins which are called as hormone receptor proteins. Hormones will bind to that particular target cell receptor proteins and bring about the particular effect on the target cell. तो भले ही टेस्टोस्टेरोन, ग्रोथ हार्मोन या आपके ब्लड स्ट्रीम में मूव हो रहे हैं, but still why is testosterone able to act only on particular cells and not on other cells? And that is decided by the hormone receptors present on the target cells. The new definition of a hormone is, or the new scientific definition of a hormone is, that hormones are non-nutrient hormones are not used by your body for nutrition. They have a low molecular weight and they're produced by your body in very small amount, and they're intercellular messengers. They act between two cells, the one which releases it, that is the endocrine cell, and the other on which the hormones act upon, which are called as the target cells. Now, the hormones are secreted by specialized structures called endocrine glands. There can be endocrine glands or simple diffused endocrine cells, and many a times non-endocrine structures like the liver can also release hormones. So, what is the list of the endocrine structures that you are supposed to remember? In the brain, there is pineal gland, the hypothalamus, and the pituitary. In the neck region, there is thyroid and there is parathyroid. In the thoracic region, there is the thymus. Then you have the cells of the alimentary canal, then the pancreas, cells of the kidneys, the adrenal glands, the gonads, the testes in males, and the ovaries in females. इसमें से कुछ प्रॉपर एंडोक्राइन ग्लैंड्स होती हैं, कुछ सिर्फ डिफ्यूज सेल्स हैं, और कुछ कुछ नॉन एंडोक्राइन ग्लैंड्स होते हैं जो हार्मोन सिक्रीट कर सकते हैं. So among all these endocrine glands, it is the pineal gland. The pineal gland is called as the master endocrine gland of the body. I'm sorry. The pituitary gland is called as the master endocrine gland of the body because the pituitary gland controls all the other endocrine glands. But the hypothalamus, in turn, controls the pituitary gland. That is why the hypothalamus is called as the real master. So, pituitary gland is the master because it is controlling the endocrine orchestra. But the hypothalamus is controlling the pituitary gland. That is why the hypothalamus will be the real master. तो ये hypothalamus कहाँ पे located? तो you have been told that inside the brain there is a part called diencephalon, which is a part of the forebrain. The diencephalon has got two walls, one facing you, the other facing me. These bilateral walls are called thalamus. Then there is a roof of the thalamus, which is called the epithalamus. And then there is a floor of the thalamus, which is called as the hypothalamus. Diencephalon is the part of the forebrain. So the hypothalamus is present at the base of the diencephalon of the forebrain. And the hypothalamus shows the presence of specialized neurons, which are not only neurons, but they're neuroendocrine cells. They secrete neurohormones. And the hypothalamus controls the pituitary gland. As we'll see further, the pituitary gland has two parts, the anterior pituitary and the posterior pituitary. And the anterior pituitary is controlled by the hypothalamus with the help of releasing hormones and inhibitory hormones. So, for example, the anterior pituitary secretes a hormone called growth hormone. लेकिन एंटीरियर पिट्यूटरी ये ग्रोथ हार्मोन तब रिलीज करेगा जब हाइपोथैलेमस ग्रोथ हार्मोन रिलीजिंग हार्मोन रिलीज करे। पिट्यूटरी ग्लैंड ग्रोथ हार्मोन का सिक्रीशन बंद कर देगा। कब? जब हाइपोथैलेमस एक इनहिबिटरी हार्मोन सिक्रीट करेगा जिसका नाम है ग्रोथ हार्मोन इनहिबिटरी हार्मोन, या उसको सोमैटोस्टैटिन भी कहते हैं। तो हाइपोथैलेमस एंटीरियर पिट्यूटरी को कंट्रोल करता है with the help of inhibitory hormones and the releasing hormones. And these hormones come from the hypothalamus to the anterior pituitary with the help of a portal vein, which is called as hypothalamic hypophyseal portal vein. So the hypothalamic hypophyseal portal vein carries the inhibitory hormones and the releasing hormones from the hypothalamus towards the anterior pituitary and thus controls the anterior pituitary secretions. Whereas the posterior pituitary is under the direct neural regulation of the hypothalamus. In the hypothalamus, there are certain neurons, the name which is not there in the NCRT, supraoptic and paraventricular nuclei. ये न्यूरॉन्स के साइटॉन्स हाइपोथैलेमस में, लेकिन उनके एक्सॉन्स पास डाउन होते हैं इनटू द पोस्टीरियर पिट्यूटरी ऑफ द हाइपोथैलेमस। दीज न्यूरॉन्स दे सिक्रीट एडीएच एंड ऑक्सीटोसिन। सिक्रीशन का मतलब होता है खुद बनाना और फिर उसको रिलीज करना। तो उसका जो रियल सिक्रीशन होता है एडीएच एंड ऑक्सीटोसिन नाम के हॉर्मोन्स का, इट इज डन बाय these neurons or the nuclei of the hypothalamus. Then they pass down through the axons, and the axon knobs are in the posterior pituitary. So, whenever the body needs the ADH and oxytocin, then the axonal knobs, which are present in the posterior pituitary, will release these ADH and oxytocin. तो रियल सिक्रीशन जो है वो हाइपोथैलेमस का, और पोस्टीरियर पिट्यूटरी उसको अपने पास रख के जरूरत के मुताबिक उसको वहां से रिलीज करता है। नाउ, so now, dear students, in front of you is a list of releasing hormones and inhibitory hormones which are secreted by the hypothalamus to control the anterior pituitary gland.